Hello everybody! Today we're going to explore the method of how to extend the network for a 24 volts passive PoE. In my previous videos we might have talked about how to extend the network for PoE devices, that is for standard PoE, but when it comes to passive PoE it's much different and much complicated. First we're going to have to know what's PoE again. PoE, the technology to transmit both power and data through a single Ethernet cable. It prevents us from, worrying about if there's a power source near the IP device, if we have to leave it close to the outlets. We use one Ethernet cable to solve all problems. And most PoE devices are divided into two groups. One is the standard PoE devices, like our IP cameras or our PoE switch. These have complied to the IEEE 02.3 standards, and the others are passive PoE devices. The passive PoE devices are slightly different from our standard PoE devices. The biggest difference, in my opinion, is that standard PoE devices, they have initial handshakes. They work in a range of 48 and 57 volts. And when they connect to an IP device, they would make sure that the IP device accepts the range of 48 to 57 volts. If not, the handshake fails and there will not be power provided to the IP device. But in some cases, there are passive PoE devices which require a different voltage to operate. In that case, we're going to use passive PoE injectors like this one in my hand. This will provide 24 volts. It has no initial handshake, and it will just directly send the power to the IP device. Doesn't request anything, doesn't make sure of anything, directly sends it. It has its pros and cons. Biggest pro, I think, is it has various numbers of different voltages for us to choose. We won't be limited to standard PoE voltages. The cons are that it might be a little bit dangerous for our IP devices, because if we kind of make an error or mistake, the voltage might fry our motherboard or damage our device permanently. So one of our customers had a question. So he wants to extend a wireless network bridge over 100 meters from his router. And for us who have worked with PoE, we know that 100 meters is the limit for a normal Ethernet cable transmission. In this case, we're going to need an extender, our old friend, a PoE extender. Extender will help us extend over another 100 meters, so we can go between 200 meters now. But that's for standard PoE. Very easy way to understand this, if we wanted to extend a passive PoE, we're going to have to kind of bring it to a standard PoE system first. After that, the extension will be perfect. So in his case, we're going to have a router, our daily routers, and then we're going to have a 100 meter Ethernet cable. Have our wireless access bridge on the other end with an extender. And today we're going to introduce a very new device. This is our PoE splitter. This PoE splitter complies with the standard PoE's voltage, so it can receive power from the standard PoE power sourcing equipments. And then, as you can see, it has one input port, which is for a crystal head for an Ethernet cable. And then on the other end, it has another Ethernet cable, also a power port. So it splits the PoE into power and data separately, and then we can separately provide them. And since this is a power adapter thing, it provides the power perfectly for it, and then it has the data also for it. So it's kind of like physically separating the PoE signal. Really easy to understand. Now let me show you how it is done. So first, let's make sure our wireless access bridge is workable. We're going to connect to our power outlet with a passive PoE injector, because this works on a voltage of 24 volts. This is a 24 volt passive PoE injector. Plug it in our alternating current. You can see the power is on. So this device is perfectly workable. And the first step for us to extend this is toss away the passive PoE injector. We're going to make this whole system standard PoE again. And now we're going to have to go 100 meters first. So our router, as you can see, is not a PoE device, not PoE enabled, so we're going to need a 30 watts PoE injector. This 30 watts PoE injector, as usual, injects 30 watts of power through the port. It receives the data from the LAN port, and then when it has connected to our alternating current, it receives power as well, and then through the PoE port, outputs power and data, such as PoE signal. Then we connect it to our router. Now it should be having PoE signal ready. And then we will take our 100 meter Ethernet cable and connect it to our injector first. So now the Ethernet cable is filled with PoE signal, and then on the other end to our extender, because we want another 100 meters. Input port and output port. The output port will connect with another Ethernet cable, roughly 20-30 meters, and then this will go to our PoE splitter. So that the PoE splitter, it will physically separate it to two streams of power and data, and then we connect this to our power outlet here, and then one to our network port, Ethernet port, and we should be seeing both the power and the signal. Ethernet is all on. You can see it really clear. We're receiving both power and data, so we can say this connection is a success. Alright, that's pretty much it for today. If you have any more questions on how to extend the passive PoE network, you can leave them at the comment section below. And thank you guys for your time. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.